This is the downfall of James Tusk.
Could I try?
A little bit of the old Turkish nutsack.
Try one of these Turkish nutsacks. See what you think.
Thank you. Yeah, a little bit of the old Turkish delight for the troops. Thank you very much.
That's very good. The old rose flavoured Turkish wine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Because when people talk about the dark triad stuff, and we were talking about this over some coffee earlier, what we're not saying is become a complete scumbag to everyone, right? Dark triad, in my opinion, and the edge incorporated correctly, in my opinion, is actually you're still that charming, affable guy.
Yeah.
But you've just got a bit of an edge to you. That's the point of the word the edge.
This charming man.
It's not to be just a complete scumbag. So where people fall down with this stuff is guys thinking you have to be a scumbag to your male friends, you have to be a scumbag to your family. You absolutely don't. You can still be the nice, considerate guy. That's actually detrimental.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But you just need to, Troy has a great analogy where you talk about dials.
Yeah.
So you want to turn down the dial of empathy at the beginning with women when you're approaching them, because you want to become kind of outcome independent. And you want to turn up the narcissism, so the self-love, the prize mentality. And you want to turn up the Machiavellianism. So understanding how to play social chess, understanding it's a game, right? So that's male to female dynamic. What you don't want to do is become dark triad and start being really dark triad to your male friends and your family. So that's a way to incorporate it in a healthy way. And the way to do it really is you're still that charming guy, but you understand this stuff and you can just kind of switch it on when you need to. And another big element of this is just being sexual, isn't it? When you approach a girl, being very sexual.
Yeah. I think really there's two key points to this really. The first one is being the prize, which is a bit of a cliche these days, but you absolutely have to think that you're the boss, regardless of objective reality, really. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Obviously, be working on your self-improvement, but in the end, you've got to think you're the boss. You go into every interaction thinking that, and you've also got to show sexual intent or show that there's an undercurrent of sexuality in the interactions that you're having. That's really it. Look, and there's your old Peaky Blinders man on that T-shirt over there. On the old T-shirt over there.
That's a great example of the edge. It's a great example of a dark triad man. But a rogue, men want to be like him and women want to be with him. That's the what we're talking about, incorporated in a calibrated way. People want to be you or they want to be with you.
Exactly.
You're not Hitler, you're not a total scumbag, or you're not Starling or Chairman Mao. You're this kind of lovable rogue. Torero termed it the badass Buddha, or we'd call it the Black Prince. So you're actually a very charming guy and a guy with this very charismatic energy, but you've got an edge to you.
Yeah.
Are we explaining this correctly? Do guys really understand?
I don't know if they do. I mean, we're going to have to do so many videos and so many live streams to try and get this across, because I think it is a very difficult thing to articulate simply, but it's also absolutely crucial if you want to get good at this stuff. Because like you said, every single guy that I know who has been very successful in dating, with women, with relationships, well, maybe not relationships, but certainly in dating, has had elements of this edge to him, right? And you said the same thing.
Yeah, they just have it in different levels. So some guys are more narcissistic, as in they're more prize-like. Because remember, what you believe internally is perpetuated on the outside. So if you genuinely believe you're the fucking prize, women will also think that. So some guys have more of that narcissistic edge. Some guys are just very good at the game. They understand social chess very well. They're able to play that Machiavellian. They're able to play that to a high degree. And some guys are they're more turned down on the empathy. So what it means is they can approach like maniacs. I know some guys that they're able just to put in the reps, which a lot of guys struggle with. A lot of guys take the rejection as an ego as a front to their persona. But who gives a shit about the rejection part? And the guys that really have got, I guess, the psychopathic tendencies down, it just really means a lack of empathy, doesn't it? So not giving a monkeys about rejection, able to put the reps in.
Yeah. You can do a dark triad test, actually. There are various dark triad tests on the internet. I did one myself a while back, and I scored quite highly, but I actually scored highest, as you would guess, on, drumroll please, narcissism. Obviously I scored quite highly. I actually scored I think it was only the three. It was only the three big ones that they did. Actually, psychopathy, I didn't score. I scored, reasonably highly, but I didn't overscore on that, which is interesting. So actually, I think I am actually quite an empathetic character, and it arguably in some situations, that's been my downfall. Arguably, I've been too empathetic at times.
Well, but I think this brings up a very good point again, because working with the newest trainer, Royal Silk, actually, what he does very well is teach this thing we'd call tactical empathy, which is really getting inside a woman's head, understanding her hopes, her fears and dreams, realising that everyone operates from a solipsistic perspective, and the more you can put herself in your shoes and show you understand her reality, the more attractive that is, and the more she's going to bond with you. But it's about combining these things together. So at the beginning, on the initial approach, we wouldn't say to be particularly empathetic. You want to turn down the empathy to protect yourself, don't you? Because some of the thing that fucks guys up is that constant approaching and bringing new leads and them dropping off. And if you take that too personally, if you've got too much empathy in that sense, that's going to fuck you up. So you actually want to turn down the empathy at the beginning, but then tactically have empathy in the later stages. And absolutely.
Hello.
Absolutely.
I'm very good. Do you want to say hello to our friends? Hello. What's your name?
My name is.
Very nice to meet you. Are you from Istanbul?
No, I'm actually from Denmark.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Denmark, we've got quite a few friends from Denmark, actually. It's a very lovely place.
Hi for Denmark.
From Copenhagen?
Yeah, Copenhagen.
And what do you think women look for in the guys that they date?
That's a good question. I think they look for respect.
Yes?
Respect is the
key
best.
thing.
Yeah, it is.
What about this idea that women like bad boys? Do you think that's true?
No, I don't like bad boys.
You don't?
No.
Not at all. You like somebody who's nice, empathetic, they're going to look after you.
Yeah, he can be a bad boy, but there's places for being a bad boy. But I think he needs to have peace in his mind.
He's got to have that charm as well, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You've got very. Can I just say you've got very pretty eyes.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm talking Danish.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh look, he's filming us now. Nice. What a friendly place. So who are you with? You with friends or?
Actually, funny story. I just broke up with my boyfriend. We're coming.
Well, here we go.
So,
For one night only. Here we are.
yeah. You are only here for one night?
I'm leaving tomorrow, but he stays a bit longer.
Yeah, I stay for a couple of days. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I came last night, so.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place, alone in the big city.
And you're Danish?
I'm Danish, yeah.
Really?
I'm Turkish, but I live in Denmark.
So you speak Danish?
Yeah.
Very strange, aggressive language.
No, it's actually a fine language.
You've got to say something on camera.
Rød med fløde.
What she said, she's probably said.
They call me maybe.
Rød med fløde, it's just something we say in Denmark.
Very nice, very nice. Well, listen, maybe you're on Instagram. We can exchange details. Cool, good stuff.
Yeah, you heard it here first. So we're just getting used to prowling around the streets of Istanbul. We're going to walk down to the Grand Bazaar Market. Mr. Francis closing up his nice little Great Dane for later. And yeah, I mean, for guys that haven't been there, that are watching this content, it's a fascinating place. So I've been traveling with Ege for 1 month. He's been showing me around Turkey. He's originally Turkish. And we went to Izmir and Bodrum and Antalya, these very cool places on the coast. Very relaxed, very chill. And now I'm back in Istanbul and actually flying back to London. So I'm showing Mr. Francis around his first ever time on the Midnight Express. Tactical empathy, dialing down the empathy dial for yourself on the initial phase of a seduction because you don't want to get too attached and hurt. But then tactically dialing it up when you really want to get to know the girl.
God, there's a taxi behind us.
When she's at the right for you to get to know her.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Dark Triad itself is a loose mapping of characteristics, and people who score highly across the Dark Triad board tend to be successful in romance and also in business as well, and other areas of life. But you don't have to be scoring 10 out of 10 in all of them, right? It's everybody's going to have certain things that they score more highly on, they over-index on, and they under-index on, and that's just how it goes. The point is, I think, to be aware of these characteristics, these behavioural traits, and to look at, okay, so where can I turn up where can I turn up the dial on these? Because a lot of guys, let's be honest, most guys probably watching this or who come into the Edge products as students are just going to be too nice. As much as it gets all this stuff about toxic masculinity and, all of this kind of stuff gets talked about so much, reality of the matter is most guys are just too damn nice. And that plays very badly for them, unfortunately, in the dating market, doesn't it? I mean, it's a shame, really, because we wish actually that just being a super nice guy, you know, super upfront and all the rest of it played really well. If it did, it would be better for everyone, but unfortunately it just doesn't.
Yeah, no, you're right there. So
James Bloodworth actually talked about this recently. He said, I saw a quote from him on Twitter. James Bloodworth, the journalist, and he's a commentator on sort of the modern dating scene and stuff. He was saying, you know, we get told about which way? Yeah.
Oh, that's the tower, the big tower. You can see the people up the top. It looks like something out of the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but James Bloodworth was. The journalist was talking about this, and he was saying we get told all the time about toxic masculinity and about how masculinity is a bad thing, etc., but then guys go out in the dating market and they see that guys who over-index in what might be called toxic masculine traits actually end up doing better with women, and that is a problem because we're being told one thing, this is how you should behave, this is how a guy should be, you know, you've got to be respectful, you've got to be this, you've got to be that, but then we're seeing that doesn't actually play very well when it comes to attracting the opposite sex.